Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel ProDivinity 1111. I am your intuitive tarologist, Anu. Very nice to have you here. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for lending your energy, and if you're new, a very warm welcome. So today's impromptu reading because of the phenomenal elements happening in the sky. So I was really called to do this reading more of an urgent manner because it's a pretty unique time window that we have with Mars and Venus. Please watch this intro. I will only explain what Mars and Venus do and what the term conjunction means in this part. And then the plan for the rest of the reading is go sign by sign, starting with Capricorn because that's where these two are meeting. And then we'll go for each sign. Everything will be timestamped, but that's where we'll pull in some tarot for what to do. Now, the urgency and why I wanted to do this reading is because this is the time for us to take action. Mars and Venus come together usually once in 2 years. So keep that in mind. They're coming together. This will not happen for about roughly another 2 years. And usually they only come together for a span of about a week, max 10 days from what I've researched. And this time they are around for pretty much a month and a half, 2 months. So I kind of started, I'll tell you the time frame is, so let's get right into it. So the intro, Mars and Venus is coming in conjunction or coming in conjunction. They started on around the beginning of the month on February 1st. They're going to be exact, like together on the 16th of February. Then they're going to start slowly, drifting, but they'll still stay together until the end of March. Okay, so Feb 1st to March 31st, almost 2 months. But the peak day is February 16th. Again, it can be a couple of days before, a couple of days after. So I'm just literally recording this a couple of days before that. And what this means is this is a time where fire and passion and money and values are coming together. And what we want to see is where does this combination affect our chart. So listen to your sun, rising, and your moon. I would definitely say listen to your sun and rising to get a full picture. But if you want to do just one, astrologers say rising is the most impactful. But again, it's a personal thing. You will also know which outlooks resonate more. Does your sun resonate more for you, or does your rising? Usually astrologers would say rising is the one, but that's your choice. If you have time for only one, just pick that. The readings are going to be short because I wanted to cover this topic. So we are being called to take action in that or those areas of our life during this week, if possible. That is, before, if you can initiate around the mid of February, great. If you don't get the chance, even through late February, early March, I would say March 6th up until that time, so next 2-3 weeks. If not, by the end of March, do take action in these areas because then you will see the blessings come through in the next 2 years until the next time these two planets come together. Okay? So I hope that helps. Now, quickly, Mars overview. What is Mars? Mars is the planet of action. This is also known as the divine lovers in astrology. This is fire and this is love, okay? So Mars is all about action. I will help you I'll hold it here and read some of the keywords. I wanted to keep it a little, viewer friendly, but also for those of you who want to learn astrology as I am. Okay, I'm still a novice, but these cards are beautiful. They help me kind of stitch it together, and I've done a lot of research, obviously. Mars is a planet of action, and some of the keywords are desire, impulses, courage, force, heat, strength, competition, workouts, excitement, thirst, impatience, anger, leadership, engine, potency, willpower, motor, sex drive. So anything that is a yang energy, going out, action, fire. This is the divine masculine energy, okay? The planet of divine masculine energy, also known as the Lord of War, okay? So watch for your anger and impulses at this time. And we have Venus, which is, we all know is the goddess of love. And some of the keywords are beauty, harmony, romance, charm, receiving, sensuality, luxury, wealth, diplomacy, magnetism, value, pleasure, adornment, adoration, attraction, indulgence, taste, and style, right? So this is the divine feminine that we have. They're coming together. So it's fire and love and passion all mixed in together. And what this is telling us, the universe is telling us, take action in this area so you can start seeing results within the next 2 years. And when they're together, the term for that is conjunction, and that means combines with, enhances, strengthens, joins forces, activates, intensifies, authorizes, allies with, concentrates, saturates, overrides, overwhelms. So they're a very potent combination when they come together. So with that, I'm just gonna place the cards. I'm gonna pause so I can get my placements correct, and we are going to get started with the individual sign. Okay, for Leo, sun, moon, or rising. I like how this deck calls Leos the lovers. I mean, the most generous people, the biggest hearts, of course. But I want to read some of the keywords here. Expressive, creative, loving, playful, warm, overt, self-confident, flirtatious, glowing, bedazzling, extroverted, vital, guileless, I don't know that word, egotistical, juicy, proud, trusting, and excessive. All right, so just to call it up, it's because it says the lover, and I know quite a few Leos, very big hearts, also very big personalities. But because it says the lovers, I think this is a very fated time, because Mars and Venus are the divine lovers, right, of astrology. So please go watch the intro for just like under 5 minutes to know what they represent, and when they're together, what does that represent. So for you, Leo, and do watch your sun and rising for sure, if possible sun, moon, rising, but rising, according to astrologers, is the most accurate, or but if you resonate with your sun, and that's good too. Just go with your gut feel. So Leo, where is this, as I called it, dance of Mars and Venus happening? It is happening in your 6th house. 6th house is our day-to-day routines. It's our work, our schedule, what time we wake up, what time we take care of ourselves, do we work out, all of that day-to-day jazz, right? It can also include our commute, but there is an emphasis on health here. And a lot of people just associate 6th house with work, but it's also like right here how it says craft, and you'll see all the herbs and essential oils and crystals that come up over here, right? So there's a lot of emphasis on self-care with the 6th house. This is where Mars and Venus are activated. So any action, if you take in this area or in the houses that Mars and Venus sit, will bring you results for the next 2 years until the time when they come back together. So where does Mars sit in your chart? As a Leo, Mars rules your 9th house. 9th house is our long-term goals. It's our, expanding our horizons, new philosophies, new learnings. Some of the things here are foreign travel, adventure, higher education, faith, beliefs, pilgrimages, spiritual quests, journalism, religious gurus, risk-taking, okay, all of that beautiful stuff, which helps us expand. That's where Mars rules your natal chart. So you naturally will be driven to learn about these things or these experiences. And then Venus rules 2 houses in astrology, which is Taurus and Libra, and they fall in your 10th and 3rd house. So 10th is all about a reputation, and 3rd is all about our, let's say, more of an elementary skills or trainings, or also our siblings or neighbors or immediate surroundings. Communication is key with the 3rd house, right? This is very, very key for learning how to connect. Now, so what we're trying to see here is, where can you take action to see results? For some Leos, because we have the 6th and the 10th, these are both, this is the career and health, this is the career, reputation, and social image house. Then we have 9th house, which is global, and then we also have comms. Right off the bat, if you're doing any websites, if you're doing any communication plans that appeal to a global audience, whatever the topic may be, this would be a very fruitful time for that. This could, for some of you, be transitioning into, let's say, a remote work environment where you could travel, you could be in a completely different country, have your own schedule, because the sixth house talks about schedule. This is going to change how your social standing looks, or your, what you're known for, your career achievement, and even your relationship status, because these are all interlinked, would affect, all coming from the steps you take in building a communication plan, or let's say a marketing plan, a social media plan. This could be building your resume to launch in global, job sites and find something that fits your schedule. So very heavy work life, and global is big. I'm really getting that here, because these two will interplay on your personal schedule and how much time you have for yourself. So again, this also covers a little bit of mental health for me too. So any action that you take in any of these areas is going to bring you rewards. Now, that was just one example, because it's glaringly work, reputation, and global and communication skills. Ninth house is also our spiritual journey. Okay, so some of you could be taking an astrology course, or could be doing tarot readings, or meditation. Maybe you're setting up, let's say, a YouTube channel on guided meditations, because you're talking. That's where the third house comes in, and it's again reaching far, because it's on the internet, anything on the internet for me. And then of course you do it on your own schedule. That's how you create your social standing. So take it as it fits. All right, so Leo, this period is extremely special for you, extra special, because the full moon on February 16th is happening in your sign. So it's a very, very powerful sign, a powerful time. Full moon in your sign, and Mars and Venus exact conjunct on the same day as the full moon. So there's a lot of big energies in the sky. So take advantage of this time. Let's get you one message from the Moonology deck. Now, Leo, the answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. This is, again, third house. So if you've been looking for answers for opportunities, that is coming. This could be, because the full moon is almost like a culmination of the previous new moon in that sign. So 6 months ago, what is it, August? Or no, was it September? I think it was September. Please go check. 6 months before, the plan that you had put in place, or things that you wanted to do, you created intentions around it, those will be culminating at this full moon. So closing some chapters and beginning new. Oh, I just saw this at the bottom of the deck. A personal issue reaches resolution for some of you. Okay, so full moon in Cancer, which is also about family, more about caring and nurturing environment for us. So take it as it fits. So let's see what Tarot has to say. What action should Leo take during this time? And again, check the intro for the key time period, which is mid-February to early March. If that's not possible before the end of the March, take advantage of this time. So take the Six of Swords. You've earned the right of passage. Ending difficult cycles. See, there's that completion with the full moon in Leo. End of a difficult cycle is approaching. This may be a pivotal time. Something you've been waiting on. Yeah, see? There's a Death card. Amazing. Time for a rebirth. Time for a rebirth. Time to put the old cycles to rest and begin a new journey. Page of Cups. I love it. And there you go. The Nine of Pentacles. So we have endings, new beginnings. Begin it from a place of love. This is very much like a Leo, our inner childlike energy that I get from the Page of Cups. And then this is going to come into Nine of Pentacles. So look, you're ending an old cycle, and now you have to, as I always say, use the energies and take advantage of them. And it's not the other way around. They're not predicting what's going to happen to you or for you. They're saying this is what's available to you. This is a perfect time to end old cycles. Okay, there are two endings here. and could be two aspects, but I think it's like one major thing that you're being called to close the chapter on and, you know, leave the choppy waters behind. For some of you, I'm hearing you have to leave the past in the past. For some of you, the past still lingers pretty strongly in your energy, and that may make this 10 of Wands even heavier than it needs to be. So it's time to take action and actively choose to disassociate from the past. Work on the new direction. Now you've buried the past or your past self and you're a completely different person. There you go, Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, look at the bottom deck energy. 10 of Pentacles, Judgment, Queen of Pentacles. So again, as I said, it's time to choose where you want to head, your new direction. What is your new identity going to be like? That's what this time is for. And listen to your heart. And this should be very, as you said, you're the lovers, right? This should be a very love-oriented decision. It should not be an ego-oriented decision, because, you know, each sign has a light and a shadow aspect, and the light aspect for Leo is really a lot of love, creativity, a lot of inner child, you know, jovial energy, excitement, and just like a lot of, you know, spark. But then the shadow side is that spark can become a big fire and turn into ego, right? So it's my way or the highway. And that's what these things are telling us here, is like, no, operate from love. What do you want to do? Not because it gives you a title or it gives you a certain social status, or even if it's not you, that you want to match a certain expectation in your relationship, in your society, in your circle, in your family. Don't take that as a goal. It's like, okay, all that is fine. What do I want to do? And when you follow that path, look at that. There's so much abundance. This is, you'll be looking good, of course, so take care of yourself. You will be enjoying the fruits of your labor. And this is also a reminder, like, do make time to also sit back and relax. You're coming into a lot of abundance. This is like the CFO of the home, the Queen of Pentacles, right? She sits back and she receives because she has so much faith and trust in the system. Similar to the Death card, Judgment here is again saying, bury the past, okay? Remove all the excess that we carry and resurface as the new you. And look at that, 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, right? So a lot of abundance coming. Some of you are really coming into new careers at this point. And, you know, just approach, I would say, if it's a completely new thing, approach it from a place of wanting to learn more, wanting to be curious, wanting to adapt, because water is supposed to be very fluid, right? So go with the flow a little bit. Don't box yourself in exactly like the title of the exact career that you want. Make sure it gives you time to take care of yourself, because this is the biggest activation that's happening for you. And, you know, you follow that, it'll definitely lead you to prosperity. Wow, it's amazing how this is all career, global, you know, self-care astrology messages we got. And then we've got all this over here, which is a lot of abundance and authenticity over here. Okay, so let's get you a closing message from the Animal Spirit deck. Oh, there's too many. We have Ant Spirit, time to collaborate. Oh, I love that. I actually really love that. First of all, it's number one, so it's a new beginning. It is also a career. So this gives me a very third house energy. It's also, third house is also your colleagues, your immediate neighbors, your siblings, people you usually don't choose. Do you know what I mean? So this is, again, working with others. This could also be your partner, but working together and collaborating with others. But specifically to me, it's getting like, again, I'm tying everything to a very heavy career aspect here. So teamwork would be great at this time. Again, if you're trying to get into a new field, go in as an individual contributor and work towards your leadership role. That's what I'm hearing for some of you. But a lot of good partners and collaborators are what are coming into your energy field at this time. Okay, so those are the messages for you. I will be moving on to the next sign. Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Welcome to your part of the reading. So we're going to look at where the conjunction is happening. Again, as I said in the intro, please go watch it. Do watch your sun and rising. And if you have time for only one, just watch the rising. But just see what you feel like, what resonates more for you. Because this is like not going to happen for another 2 years with them coming together. You are called the alchemist. I love it. So it's the, Virgo energy, having the magic within and trusting your intuition is pretty big with Virgo, but I really liked it how, because you have such a strong vision and also detail oriented in what you want to create, you often create it. And that's why you're called the alchemist. So some of the keywords here are methodical, aligned, ritualistic, efficient, insightful, healthy, dutiful, discerning, witchy, subtle, pure, refined, accurate, solitary, curatorial, critical, nervous, perfectionist. Yes, perfectionist for sure. So this is gonna tell us, we're gonna look into which house this dance is happening, this conjunction is happening. Okay, so the conjunction is happening for the divine lovers in your 5th house of passion. Now, 5th house is the house of love, romance, it's creativity, it's children. It can also represent your hobbies. It can be your business, anything that you create out of passion. Okay, that's what it is. And what do? You create children out of passion. You create businesses, enterprises, anything that's around joy and pleasure and tapping into our inner childlike nature is what sits into the 5th house. Also investments, by the way, so the stock market, any type of gambling or sports betting, all that stuff kind of sits in the 5th house as well, right? So that's really activated with these 2 planets coming in. So any action you take in this type of category of the 5th house, anything that you do with a lot of passion and desire is going to bear fruit over the next 2 years until the next time these 2 come together. But beyond that, what also gets impacted are the actual houses they naturally affect in your chart, in your natal chart. So Mars affects your 8th house, or rules your 8th house of sex and intimacy and shared resources. So this can be interesting because this could be like as I said, business venture, creative enterprise that you start, a side hustle. This could relate to finances for it. For me, this is also like, when partners, like, what do you say, like married partners or, couples together invest on something and turn it into a business, like monetize, like couples become business partners. That sort of stuff also falls into the 8th house, but usually it's all about resurrection. It's about the underworld. It's about our long-term investments, how we're going to do plan for the future. And generally, of course, if you are in a relationship, this would also mean merging up the financial resources, right? The material world. That's what this is about. So that's what Mars rules usually for you. And Venus rules 2 signs in astrology, Taurus and Libra. And they represent your 9th house and your 2nd house. So 2nd house is again all assets, our material acquisitions, what we value, also who we value, okay? And the 9th house is it says seeking, but 9th house is long-term plans, it's global, it's expansive philosophies, is learning other cultures, religion, spirituality, higher education. All of that stuff sits in the 9th house. So again, you've got actually, if you look at all the numbers, and I'll simplify it, this is your personal income, the 2nd house, your self-worth. This could be your shared worth, even net worth, right? Your own value system, your values with another. This is your creative endeavors, and this is how do you expand that. This is like higher learning, even like internet, social connections, kind of sit in this realm as well. So expansion over there. So any of these areas, if you were to take any actions at this time, it's going to bring you, blessings over the next 2 years. So let's see what the Numerology deck has to say for you, Virgo, and especially around this full moon in Leo that's happening on the exact same day when these 2 are right on top of each other, like right conjunct on February 16th. So let's see what's the message for my beautiful Virgo. We have a win-win outcome is forecast. I love it. And it's Libra, so one of the Taurus signs is coming up. So If you've been waiting on anything to balance out, on a decision, a win-win forecast is, a win-win outcome is in the forecast for you. That's really nice. So let's see what Tarot has to say. Like, what action could Virgo be taking at this time? And the pivotal time is now, when you watch this, mid-February through early March, if not by the end of March, because that's when they start drifting apart again. So we have the Page of Swords. So new thinking, interesting. Could be new learning, but it's all about intellect with the Page of Swords. So childlike, pages also represent children to me. So a new, let's say, pattern of communication with your children or children around you could be interesting, but it's just calling you to have a very fresh mind. With the Three of Swords, whoa, okay, well, let's get these together. You have the Page of Swords, Three of Swords, you have the Knight of Swords, whoa, big energies, and then we have the Emperor. Wow, let's get one more. And then we have the Fool. Wow, this is big. Okay, what I said here could also be the opposite, okay? Could also be maybe you're not joining forces, the 8th house. You may be splitting forces because of these 3 cards showing up here. And again, this is not going to apply to everybody, but if you are in a connection or in a, oh my God, this is also here. This is usually the judicial system. So there are, for a minority of you, clear indicators here that it's the right time if you've been thinking about walking out of a relationship, which usually involves separating of the assets, separating of our investments or joint investments, you know, then also like children, if you have children, talking about custody, and usually there's a period of healing involved, right? It's the Knight of Swords is almost like, okay, the time is now. There's a sense of urgency to it, because usually the Three of Swords doesn't just happen overnight, right? This is something that happens over time, and when we can no longer bear it is when we take the action. And at that time, we really want to take it fast. And I'm saying fast because you have the air, swift air energy, and you have very big fire energy here with the Emperor. So that's a storyline for some of you where it's actually splitting of resources and a joint household and all the stuff that comes with that. But it is bringing you a lot of building your own stature. It is bringing you a fresh new start. So eye on the prize is what I'm hearing for some of you. Keep your eye on the prize. Don't fret the small stuff. Just go line item by line item, because you may feel like a complete beginner at some of this, because not everybody's experienced in that, right? Unless we go through it in our lives. So it's okay. Take it one step at a time and just take it as a checklist for some of you. For others, and I want to look at the bottom of the deck. Oh, we have the Two of Cups. Oh, this is so cute. Look at that. Especially for this group. I mean, this is, again, self-love is very important. For those who are resonating with this story, the more you take care of yourself and love yourself, the faster things and energies will align up with you. For others, this could also, represent another person coming in, where we go back to the original story of like joining forces with somebody, right? You have the King of Wands following our passion, and then we have the Four of Cups, where it may feel like it's been a long time coming, okay? So for the other group of people that this separation does not apply to, what this is really telling us is like, this is a time to, especially with these two here, time to forget the old experiences, actively choose to take a fresh step forward. Now, if it is in these areas, let's say something that you try to take off the ground, let's say a creative idea that you had started and the last 2 years have not been easy and it did not really take off, and you had to kind of put that aside, this may be a good time to revisit that, because the Three of Swords is telling us like, yep, that was an experience. The time wasn't right. It may have felt like it never really became big, but try to find your inspiration, your creativity, your spark for it, and see if you can get it going again, because the energies are opening up with you know, the Emperor is the entrepreneur, the business owner. He's the king of all kings. The Fool is the absolute new fresh start. And the important thing here is leave the old baggage behind. The Fool does not travel heavy, okay? The Fool travels extremely light. And by that, we don't mean things. We also mean our mental baggage, okay? Because in order to tap into our creativity, we gotta just like sometimes just let go, just purge. That's very important for you, and approach things from a place of love. That's how doors are going to open. And again, I say that because it's right with the King of Wands. This is all about our inner desires. How do we want to build our business? How do we want to, you know, get the next job? Whatever that is, okay? So that's what you're being called to do, is like take some action toward it, and you are likely to receive blessings from it. So let's get you a message from the Animal Spirit deck. Beautiful Virgo, the Alchemist. We have Fox Spirit. Think on your feet, number 27. I love it. I love it because the fox is also related to careers and jobs and businesses. You know, you have to be clever as a fox. That's as clear as day. The biggest thing is be flexible at this time. Be willing to change directions. And remember that rejection is the universe's or God's protection, right? So that's very important here. And there may be things that didn't work out. They were not for your highest good. So this is being like, okay, open up, close that chapter and say, all right, I'm done with that. Okay, universe, I'm open for the next opportunity. And then something will be presented to you, right? That's where the spirit is like, you have to be flexible, you have to be quick, and you have to be adaptable. And approach it all from a place of like, I'm in it to learn and grow. And you can't go wrong. You really can never go wrong with that attitude. So those are the messages I have for you, Virgo. I will be moving on to the next sign. Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Welcome to your reading. So I want to share a little keywords here from this deck. And you're called the idealist. I mean, Libras are the most friendly people, or get along with everybody. So yep, absolutely. Now, some of the words are harmonious, cooperative, balanced, socially aware, artistic, people-pleasing, fair, idealistic, aesthetic, choosy, all of these, considerate, obliging, indecisive, judgmental, flattering. Okay, judgmental because, you know, it's all about the balance. It's about the scales. So judgment is the major arcana in tarot for Libra. So let's see where this is happening. Now, if you missed the intro, please go watch it. It's under 5 minutes. You'll understand what these planets mean and why we're talking about this reading of this urgent period that we have available to us to take action, because they're not going to come back together for another 2 years. So just go watch that part. But what we're going to talk about is, where are they affecting your chart right now, traditionally where they rule, and how you can take any actions on those areas. So they are meeting in your 4th house. The 4th house is all about family, our home, our foundations, roots, right? What we build together, the stability that we create. This can include, of course, real estate, property, apartments, anything like that, or any material acquisitions as well, that we would need or want in our home arena. Okay, so similar to 2nd house, but a little bit more family oriented energy. So that's where this big activation is happening. This may be a time where you may want to take action into planning where you want to move, planning about, you know, home renovations, or planning about what system is not working in your current family construct, right? Do we want to create our own traditions, things like that? So it's the physical boundary of the home, and also the roots and I don't want to say tradition is probably like a loose word for it, or like your belief system, like as a family, how do you operate, how you want to operate, anything around that area. Okay, that's where these big energies are sitting. Now, in addition to that, Mars traditionally rules your 7th house in your natal chart. And this is actually funny because Libra represents the 7th house and Mars is in that, which is very, very interesting to me. But this is all about relationships, okay? So if you're thinking of committing to a partner, or this could also be a business relationship. Some of the keywords here are partners, companionship, best friends, marriage, relationships, opposition, equilibrium, sharing, communion, justice, balance, social awareness. Okay, so a lot of the, and you also see the scales over here, right? A lot of the Libra energies, and that is ruled naturally in your chart by Mars, which is very interesting. What I would say, for some of you, you could be thinking about saying yes to your proposal, or saying or proposing to your partner. Again, this could be moving in together into the same house, any of these areas, or this could be getting into a new partnership with somebody. And Venus, for all of us, rule 2 houses in astrology, and for you that's the 1st house and the 8th house, because Venus rules Libra and Taurus. So this is, again, the energy is really in prominent in your self-image, in how you see yourself, how you portray yourself, and also in the house of intimacy and sex and partnerships and, you know, deep subconscious resurrection, where we strip all our inhibitions and show our true selves or face our fears, all of that good jazz. But it's also, interestingly, it is also shared financial resources. So, and guess what? Home, it can be, and often is, if you're in a committed partnership, a shared resource between partners, right? So all those areas are quite activated for you at this time. So any action you take in these areas are actually going to bear fruit for you over the next 2 years, right? So let's see what the Moonology cards have to say. There is a very powerful full moon in Leo on the same day as the exact conjunction of Mars and Venus. That is February 16th. So it's very powerful a few days before, a few days after. But that is like the peak period of this energy through early March. But please see the intro and the description for the exact period. So let's see, Libra, what is the message for you? Yeah, look at that. Prosperity lies ahead. I mean, again, new moon in Taurus. No wonder the Taurus message was coming forward, of course, with Venus, Taurus, and Libra are the main energies. But prosperity lies ahead. This could be in your home and foundation, in your relationships, building a home together, building a home business together is also something important for you. And this, again, could be changing yourself and your outlook and your image, even like your physical body, any changes at this time that you want to make. And by that, I mean, like, you know, like a makeover. It's a pretty good time to initiate anything like that over here. So let's look at tarot in terms of what action should Libra be taking at this time in any of these areas. And it'll be unique for each of you, but we just want to get the overall energies available to you. You have the 8 of Wands, the 2 of Swords, King of Wands, look at all the fire. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. We have the 8 of Wands, which is telling us we do want to move pretty fast. And this could also be like a long distance thing that you've been trying to attain. Maybe some of you have been trying to move across states or, you know, really across counties. But there's a little bit of indecision here with the, oh, interesting. Wasn't there a keyword here? Yeah, indecisive. And that's what, because, you know, we're trying to really spend a lot of time weighing the pros and cons, right? Because Libra is all about the scales, all about trying to balance things out. And sometimes that can put us into an energy of inaction because we're lost in the analysis of it, right? Analysis paralysis, perhaps. We have King of Wands, we have the Knight of Wands, and we have the Page of Wands. Look at all that fire energy. 4 fire cards here. So there's a lot of passion and desire that's burning within you at this time. Now, if you're really called to take an action in any of these areas, do so, because this is gonna be something very unique to you. With the King of Wands here, you have thought about this quite a bit already, and you have a strategy. Follow that inner gut feeling, charge ahead. The Knight of Wands is like a very fired up, energetic energy. So go for it, charge ahead. This is like a lot of charging ahead energy. But maybe the indecision is coming because this is a new journey at the end of the day. This is not something that, you know, you would take lightly, because there's only so many steps you can see on this journey at this point. So you're feeling a little bit that you don't have all the information or data points, and we never have all the data points to make decisions. We do the best with what data we have, and yes, in the future, of course, as the data evolves, you know, our direction can evolve as well. But it's either that, like every step in the, you know, direction of progress is progress, or we just, you know, succumb to our fears and don't take any action at all. So that's what this is. I mean, again, it may apply to different scenarios of your life, but the indecision may be coming from the discomfort that we don't know the full path ahead. Although there is a lot of fire and passion on this. Yeah, look at this. 8 of Swords, bottom deck energy, 4 of Pentacles, and King of Pentacles. So there's a lot of prosperity. Look, this is the same card. It's the same message. Prosperity lies ahead. King of Pentacles is the prosperity energy in tarot. Now, this is what lies ahead. Ooh, where did this come from? Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. This just popped out from nowhere. But currently, this is also 4th house. You're just sitting very tight and you're feeling a bit trapped, but this is a mental trap. Okay, that's what you need to know, that you're kind of, you're over analyzing the situation, and there is a sense of like the security in the known is what is maybe like hindering you from taking a step forward. Okay, but with all this firepower here, this is the end. This is the universe really telling you, like, look, you have enough momentum. You need to move forward and really start working on your plan and step out of this indecision. Does that make sense? Okay, nice. I like that, Libra. So let's get you a message from Animal Spirit deck over here, and let's see what they have to say to you in terms of what action should you take at this time. Ooh. There's some money happening. There's joint shared resources coming up for this group. Really real estate oriented too. Koi fish spirit, number 36, there is always enough. Koi fish is a symbol of prosperity. It's a symbol of literally money. Okay, they represent abundance and money, and this is saying take action, take steps now in order to build on your abundance. There's always enough. Get out of this mentality of like holding on to our coins, and this is usually not just coins, right? This is just like holding on to the known, but it closes our heart. It closes our viewpoint of letting our heart shine and see the opportunities. And so that's what this message is telling us over here. Is like, you know, loosen up your grip a little bit. Don't try to over predict the future. At least take a step towards it, and everything will fall into place. There's a lot of abundance energy over here. Those are the messages for you, Libra. I will move on to the next one now. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising. This part of the reading is for you. And Scorpio is called the powerhouse. I love it. I love the imagery here as well. There is, again, it's all about transformation. It's about being intense and authentically intense. There's a raw power, you know, even almost to like being very attractive in terms of drawing people in. That's the energy of Scorpio, and it's the 8th house. It's extremely, you know, it's the house of the phoenix. It's the house of the resurrection. So some of the keywords here for you are transformative, intense, passionate, secretive, carnal, thorough, obsessive, intimate, primal, lusty, deep, eternal, resourceful, mysterious, regenerative, compulsive, destructive, manipulative. So again, it's like blending of the energies. It is I actually have a Scorpio rising. Yes, that's right. So you may want to watch your sun and rising at least. If you want to watch all sun, moon, rising, great. But rising, astrologers say, is the most accurate, but you know, go with your gut feeling. For me, a lot of the times I watch my sun because that's what I relate to most. Sometimes when the sun doesn't relate, then I go to the rising. That's how I operate. But what we're looking at is go look at the intro and why this is an important time, because they don't meet often and they don't meet for this long ever. So with Mars and Venus, where they're meeting for you, Scorpio, is this meeting is happening in your third house. And the third house is all about our communication. It's about our basic skills. It's siblings, neighbors, it's our colleagues. So anything around, speech, thoughts, social media, excursions, dating, siblings, research, street life, circulation, discussions, surrounding, and scalability. So anything around that, let's say you're trying to build something new on social media, maybe you're setting up, I said that for another sign, I can remember, like an Instagram shop presence, or you're setting up your website, or you're setting up anything around media and communications, or you're trying to work through your relationship with your siblings or your neighbors or your colleagues. Anything that falls in that area is where there's a lot of activation in high energies at this point. So any action you take in that is going to bring you results over the next 2 years. However, we also have to look at what Mars and Venus traditionally ruled for you. And Mars rules your 6th house of craft. This is the day-to-day work, the day-to-day schedule we have. This is our health routines, our fitness routines, or for some of us, lack thereof. But how do we make time for ourselves? That's what this represents. So this can bring a lot of physical energy into those routines. So some of you may always be trying new fitness regimens, or learning about crystals, or learning about essential oils, something like that. There's a lot of firepower in your 6th house because Mars influences it for you. This is also related to our job and our personal life schedule, the balance that we have. And Venus rules Taurus and Libra, 2 signs in astrology, which for you are the 7th and 12th houses. So 7th house is all about relationships. It's our partners, so it's marriage house, it's business partnerships, and 12th house is all about our psyche. It's about our subconscious. It's about, almost like past life, karma, psychotherapy, any of those areas. And, also diving deeper into spirituality, learning, going, through what is it called? Past life regression type things, any of those, right? So these are the areas that are really activated for you at this time. So let's say you make time to learn a new meditation technique, or you see a new therapist, or you start a course, because we have the 3rd house here, which is also, short courses or certifications. Maybe you take up a course on becoming a therapist, or becoming an astrologer or a tarot reader. You could be thinking about moving further into a partnership. This could be a love partnership. This could be a business partnership. Or you completely change your lifestyle. And I don't mean completely, or you take a step towards changing your lifestyle, your diet, your exercise routine, or you change your work hours, something like that, right? So any of those areas, it's a great time to take at least one action on that, and for it to bring rewards over the next 2 years. So with the full moon in Leo, which is also happening on the exact day when Mars and Venus are exact, and that is on February 16th. So, a few days before, a few days after is when the energy is really potent. Let's see what's the message for you on that, Scorpio. Okay, we have faith in your dreams, waxing crescent moon. So I like this because sometimes I think with the 12th house showing up here, and of course the world has not been normal in the last 2+ years. So this is just a confirmation for you to have faith in your dreams, keep continuing on your path, and even if it is just taking one step, please do take that one step, because that's where the path will start opening up, and you'll continue going down that path. So don't give up. This is not the time to give up. Well, let's see, Tarot. Spirit, what action should Scorpio be taking at this time in the areas of 3rd, 6th, 7th, or 12th houses? Let's see what's coming up for you. This could be like some of you entering a new relationship that affects your daily schedule or your time for yourself. Also, kind of pushes you into how to communicate with a partner. You may have been single for a while, and you know, what type of deep fears do you have that this relationship could surface further? Again, I'm just like giving examples. Each of your situation is going to be unique. So we have so far Two of Pentacles, Four of Cups. So there's a lot of, I think a lot happening for you, but yet not feeling at a point where things are where you want them to be. However, look at that. There's a 2 balancing here. There's a 2 balancing here, the light and the shadow aspect. You're being called to charge ahead regardless. Like, okay, find a way and just go for it. Keep working one step at a time. This is what the 8 of Pentacles is. You know, keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep perfecting your craft, and before you know it, you will be the masterpiece. So let's get one more. For those of you that it's about a relationship, it gets, again, telling us here that there's a lot of balance, but it also requires balance in this connection, because again, the priorities, and I don't mean like priorities in terms of importance of each other in the connection, but the 6th house matters. Like the day-to-day schedule priorities may be different for each person in the connection, and that's what sometimes needs balancing out a little bit. Let's see, bottom deck energy, we have the High Priestess. Wow, this is the psychic energy. I mean, Scorpios are very psychic, so you have the answers within. You're starting something new. Plant that seed, take that action. What are you trying to create? And then you have the Hermit over here, so you have the answer. There you go. This is double confirmation here that you really don't need to look outside for, you know, a formula that works best in a connection or in a business, or, you know, even like if it's a lifestyle thing, you can read everything, all the books, and, you know, all the different workout regimens that people do or diets they adopt, but you actually know what works for your body. Okay, some of you, you know, you probably don't want to do, let's say, a low carb diet. You probably don't want to do something which, you know, anything like that, like a keto that's really popular, because you know it's not going to work for your body. It's almost like you have that inclination within you, and that's what the High Priestess and the Hermit is saying. The Ace of Pentacles is saying, plant that seed, take that step, start something that you've been thinking about, that you've put in the back burner for a while, because this looks like something you've been sitting on for a while because you're waiting for an external stimulus. It's interesting how these messages come through, but it's time to take charge of your chariot, to balance out the things, here you go, light and dark, to kind of opposing factors, and find a way forward and power through it. And power through it if you know just the initial steps, and take one step at a time. Before you know it, you will be a pro at whatever this is, and along the way you're going to find a lot of passion, because there is a deep desire to move really quickly, but there are some balancing issues, and I think this is really like 6th house related, where how do I fit this into my life, or how do I make room for something like this in my already packed life, because this is a pretty packed life over here that we're seeing, but you hold the answers within. That's what this is saying. Okay, so let's get you a message from Animal Spirit deck, you beautiful Scorpio. We have the Bat Spirit, a rebirth is assured. Wow, look at that. This is like the this is this is almost like the major arcana for Scorpio, the Death card, right? The death and rebirth is what Scorpio represents, and we have that here. And the number 5 is about changes. So you know, changes in the air, take advantage of it. Change usually comes to us for our highest good, but we gotta just, like, even if we don't see the whole journey ahead, just like go with the flow is what I'm hearing. It was kind of similar message with, what was the previous sign? Libra, but very different. So there is a rebirth coming. You know it's coming, but you gotta just take the first step towards it. Those are the messages for you, Scorpio. I will move on to the next one. Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Let's look at how this conjunction is affecting your sign. So I like this deck because it gives a nice few keywords. You're called a Voyager, of course. Expansion, global, travel, learning about new cultures, new philosophies. It's a very Sagittarian oriented energy. So some of the things here are enthusiastic, philosophical, independent, generous, ethical, seeking, happy-go-lucky, adventurous, honest, bareback, unbridled, experimental, lucky, boundless, traveling, risk-taking, tactless, self-righteous. Interesting. I'm just looking at the this beautiful mandala on this person's head. Oh, I really like it. Anyway, so a lot of expansion is what you usually like, and I think this is an interesting time because as the planets are going direct, all of them, energies are opening up. So some of you may be thinking about travel, that will be opening up. Now, if you missed the intro, please go back and spend like 5 minutes to understand why we're talking about this conjunction and what is the key period. Again, cheat sheet here. It's like right now, mid-February to early March, or at least the last 2 weeks are very potent for February, if not then to the end of March. But go watch the intro. What we're going to see is like, where are they meeting in your chart for you? Where does this energy affect you? And it really affects your second house. It's amazing. So all this firepower is in your house of material possessions. It's about the things you love, the people you love. It's about finances, your self-worth. Because the second house is our own earnings. Okay, so this could be your job, your earning, but this is personal income. Okay, and how you acquire that personal income, what you acquire with that, and then also along with, because again, this is Venus rules generally the second house of really material abundance, right? So that's where this is affecting your chart. So any action you were to take around your job, your home, your possessions, or your let's say aesthetics of the home or of the relationship, any of those areas are actually going to bring you results over the next 2 years. In addition, they also rule certain houses in your natal chart. So for Mars rules your 5th house, and I really like it because 5th house is the lucky house. It's the house of investments. It's the house of some investments, sports betting. I'm not saying go bet it, but gambling, happy-go-lucky type energies are what sit in the 5th house, along with, of course, children, creativity, our inner passions, joy, pleasures, fun stuff. Okay, it's a very fun house. So naturally, Sagittarius has a lot of energy and inner child spark because Mars is there, right, in the 5th house in your natal chart. So again, this could be, let me just read a few for you. This could be performance entertainment, yes, creativity, costume play, love affairs. Oh, how could I forget about that? 5th house is also lovers, okay, so dating, partners, lovers, and that all falls into the 5th house. Romance, humor, it says disco ball, children and parties. So all the fun stuff, that's where Mars gives you a lot of energy. And Venus is, Taurus and Libra, which is for you your 6th house and your 11th house, okay? So 6th house is all about our daily routines, our job, our work, and our personal life. Do we make time for our own hobbies? Our self-care sits in this house, which is very important. That's why you see all these essential oils and herbs and crystal. This looks like a crystal. I hope it's a crystal. I hope it's not a fabric. I think it's a crystal. But anyway, it's all about the details around health and well-being, but also work all together. What makes your day complete, right? And she also rules your 11th house, which it's interesting. It says the edge. It's the Aquarian energy, which is, groups, big communities, your big social circle, your friendships, humanity, community. This could be like joining a group with similar interests. So what this period is telling us that at this time, if you were to take action in any of these areas, something that you want to invest in, or you want to start a hobby, or you want to start a side hustle, or you want to change your fitness routine, or maybe change your job, because we have personal income and we have work and personal health house here. and or anything that you want to help a friend out on, you know, helping them learn about investments, or helping them learn about, you know, landing a job. I don't know, anything like that, where there are some elements. Any action, if you were to take in this area, is going to bring you results until the next time these two planets come together. So let's see what Moonology deck has to say to you. Beautiful Sagittarius. I almost called you Leo. I don't know why. Well, some of you may have Leo placements as well, of course. But a Leo, because it's top of mind, because I'm talking about the Leo full moon, which is also happening on the same day as this exact conjunction. 16th of February is big day, a few days before, a few days after, and the message for you is you are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. So really, this is the 6th house. Okay, this is about self-care. This is about valuing yourself, taking care of yourself, making room for your physical, emotional, mental health at home, along with the other things and other responsibilities that you take. So this is just a, you know, I like this message. It's a nice reminder you are good enough. All right, so let's see what Tara has to say on what action should Sagittarius take at this time. Ooh, Knight of Wands, Chariot. Let's get going. Let's get going. Let's stop hanging around, mulling things over. The mulling things over time is over. That was a terrible sentence. We have, yeah, look at that. This is what we gotta stop. Let's get one more. Oop. Okay, Judgment. All right, and bottom deck energy, we have the 8 of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups, and the 6 of, so this is your friend circle right here. So we have friends and connections, the 6 of Cups. We have waiting for opportunity. That time is passing, and then working hard, okay? This is, again, similar to work hard, play hard energies over here. So let's see what we have. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Chariot, so fast movement. Take action. Take quick action in this area or any of these areas that are really exciting to you, because your lever, your gut feel, your direction check is going to come from your gut. What are you being excited towards? There is the Hangman, the 8 of Swords, and the Judgment here. And again, this is an important energy because it says two kind of polar messages. One is like the time to like just keep sitting on it and hanging out and just waiting about is over. But the other thing is also it's over because you've done enough contemplation and you have all the wisdom that you need. You don't need to read any more books or like follow any specific advice. You have the answers within you. Now it's time to just take the action. That's what this is. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for some approval. I'm hearing is interesting. Again, messages, I always like set intentions that the messages come through me and not from me. And that's why being an intuitive reader is very fun, because you would interpret the same cards with different messages. So it's like this is saying here, stop waiting for something or someone's approval. You know what you have to do, what action you have to take. It's about time that you get started on that. Stop, being your own critic. This is sometimes, we trap ourselves in our analysis or over analysis of things. But this to me is just showing here, like, all right, it's time. You see how, like, it's time to cut those ropes or things that we feel tied to. And it's all a mental self energy. Okay, this is not external. This is not about somebody else creating this for you. This is in your mind space, right? That's what needs to get cleared out. And then come out and shine. Really come out and shine. With the Judgment card here, it says, what is your true self? You are being called, this is Archangel Gabriel, calling you to rise up to your true self and leave, the baggage behind and just rise up. Rise up to your own truth, to your identity, what you want to build, what your long-term goals are, what you want to strive toward. Start working on that. Stop waiting And you know, the more you do that on your work, on your authentic journey, and start working and walking towards that, the more you'll find these like-minded people with the 11th house as well. You will find your community at this time, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so let's get you a closing message from the Animal Spirit deck. Beautiful Sagittarius. Let's see what we have. We have Nightingale Spirit. Love is all around. Number 41 reduces to a 5. 5 is about changes, about growth that comes from changes. So sing your own song, you know, hum to your own tune, just like operate from your heart chakra. And again, Sagittarians are very open hearts. That's really nice. But you have the 5th house here, you have number 5 here. Tap into your love, into your creativity, into your fun side, and just go for it. Go for it. Take one action towards that direction, okay? All right, those are the messages I have for you. Wish you much love and light. I'll see you in the next one.